today were a little bit tardy because all of our horses decided to take full advantage of our rainy day and coat themselves in a full coat of mud, a little mud spa, one might say. So we were very busy hosing them all off, lost track of time, but we are here now. I think what we should do to take best advantage of this time together is we'll open this up for Q&A. So while we're on for the next couple minutes or so, give us your questions. We'll see if we can answer them. And in the meantime, we can walk through the barns and maybe meet a couple horses. I have some of our tack out here if anybody has questions about the bits that we use. And ask away. This here is Jess I Am. So Jess, as he's called here, he
hi, buddy.
is a really, what did you say?
I said hi, buddy.
Oh, hi. He's a big barreled guy, and he is a little bit of a hard keeper. So you can still see his ribs at the top, and we've been working on getting him to engage his back muscles to try to fill in that space. He's made a lot of progress and enjoys having a big, nice round belly. So hopefully he'll be posted online soon, and we're just working on getting all the pieces together for his profile. So keep a lookout for Jess. You can say toodaloo to Sandlot Star, who will be moving to California pretty soon. So he is just hanging out with us until he catches his ride across the country. Nicely done, Rambo. What a trooper. Cape Angel here is the next in line for our bath time parade. He is half mud, which is very impressive considering that most of the horses decided to cover themselves completely in mud, but he's only committed to being half muddy. So bravo to Cape Angel. Oh, somebody's very tired. Kataf here, it has come to us very recently, and he actually was one of the rare few, I think I said that before for Queenwood, but we really don't tend to get stallions here because we geld them before we put them up for adoption. But Kataf here came still intact, was gelded just at the end of last week, and is trying to just recover from that. So you can see he looks pretty sleepy, and he's got some growing to do. Who else have we got? Do you have any questions in the meantime, Dom?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
All right. Some of you may have already met or remember the videos from Dr. Door. He has a very nice hind end right here.
Doctor, doctor.
He says, not today. Sea Shark is fully immersed in his food right now. He just got a bath and took me about 15 to 20 minutes to get all the mud off. He had really accomplished an amazing feat of covering every square inch of his body with mud.
You missed a spot.
Yeah.
Right
That
there.
was actually, it was under his halter, which was so muddy I had to take the halter off, clean the halter, and so
Smoochy, smoochy.
we'll have to figure that out with brushes later. And I think we did actually get a pretty impressive video of him rolling on both sides, and we'll have to post that later for you guys to see. Quite the athletic maneuver. This is where the magic happens. This is where they get the bath. You can see all the products that we use. Actually, Dom, who's filming, has had a really good tip for anybody who deals with high humidity environments. Right, Dom? You tell me if I'm saying anything wrong. Apple cider vinegar is a great all-around tool for lots of different purposes, but you mix a little bit of apple cider vinegar with a bucket of water, and you use it to sponge off. That's a great bath for them too. It has actually a lot of different uses. It can help them with coat shine, reducing fungus, getting rid of any of those summer sore type things that they can get from too much bacteria, sweat, dirt, all those sort of things. So it's a great bath. And you can alternate that with a regular type of bath where you're using shampoo or just hosing them off. Doesn't have to be used in any sort of specific way, but just a nice diluted apple cider vinegar bath is what we're trying to do to keep the horses healthy, coats shiny, and can also help to reduce the flies that are in their proximity. So that's great. And then where's the coat defense? That's going to be the other.
We have some on the other side. Maybe.
Oh no, I'll get it. So, one magic tool. This, the Cocoa Tea Style, really great for any spots that they have that are really dry. It's for, they're saying dermatitis, scratches, ringworm, rain rot, dew poisoning, sunburn, all of those things. It's just coconut oil, tea tree oil, and rosemary oil. So even for those who are a little pickier of what they're putting on horses, that's a really great tool. And then let me get 1 second. This is the magic. This is the most magic of all the things. Again, at Dom's fantastic recommendation, we started to use coat defense for any of those really stubborn sort of summer sore, scratches, wounds. Anything else you want to add to that, Dom? Nope.
Stay fungus free with some coat defense.
That is a fantastic tagline. One of my favorite things about this is it smells like mint chocolate chip ice cream, but it has kind of a poultice texture.
It's the greatest product of all.
Right here.
They also have a powder for those bigger, hard to treat areas. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
You would think that we were sponsored by them, but we're not. We're just very, very happy with the things that we use, and we have enough horses that when you test something here and you know that it's working on these guys, it's probably going to work on many of others too. Queen Wood here is finishing off his dinner. Any questions coming in so far?
Nunza.
This is one of my favorites, our gentle giant, Spanish Treasure, who we call Scallywag. And he's doing a deep dive into his dinner as well. Discreet Fantasy here is going to be leaving any moment now for his new home. And then the greatest of all, with absolutely no bias involved, goes to the Gozerian, who is a graduate of new Vocations from last year. This is my horse who makes some surprise appearances in some of the other videos. He managed to cover himself in mud very, very well.
We've got a question, Leandra.
Yep.
How many times a day does a healthy horse poop?
That's a very interesting question. That can vary, it varies a lot. So every individual horse has their different routine, and that can change by the seasons. If you switch their grain, lots of different things. Kind of like people, some horses have their routine, and then some others are not as predictable. So I would say if you are able to pay attention to how your horse passes manure and what their normal is, then you'll be able to more accurately tell when they deviate from that norm. You know, if you have somebody else who picks the stalls and whatnot, maybe just check in with the barn owner and see what they think about that. Because every horse is a little different. If you're worried about normalcy, one of what I used for Gozer, because he had some colic incidences that were not easily explained, I put a halter on him at night because I'm not here at night, but he wears a smart halter, so it actually has a sensor built into the halter. It's made by Night Watch, and it tracks their baseline for a month or so, and then it can actually send you alerts if anything changes. So that's definitely a great tool if you're worried about any abnormal behavior. But other than that, just make sure you kind of know what's normal for your horse, and then you'll have a pretty good sense of when things are off. Anything else?
Lynn missed the part about bathing for flies. We use an apple cider vinegar rinse, and that helps with some flies, fungus, and coat shine.
Yeah. We do a feed through, so apple cider vinegar, we use the organic kind. I think it's the Bragg's brand. That we use an organic apple cider vinegar in the horse's grain, and a garlic. The garlic is intended for horse consumption. They can have too much garlic, so just be careful if you do feed garlic. Make sure you get something that's actually intended for horse use. But that can also help to ward off the flies. But yes, definitely apple cider vinegar. I noticed that even after I sponge my horse off after a ride, when he's had that even diluted apple cider vinegar sponging bath, that the flies don't hover around him nearly as much. So there's that. Well, that's the whole training barn over here for the guys who are inside right now. So it's a little bit different than our normal Training Tip Tuesday, but if you guys have ideas for next week, we'll definitely take that into consideration. And if you're watching this live, thank you so much for joining. If not, feel free to still submit your questions afterwards, and we'll try to circle back to it. Tune back in tomorrow for our virtual tour at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and we hope to see you later in other videos.